Now that we have a handle on changing global settings and preferences, let's now look at how to change and customize the size, look, and specific settings of just our new document. You can find the document settings under File, Document Setup. The first option is for auto text, which we'll skip over for now as it'll make more sense later once we've introduced working with text in the next course. The next option is for controlling grids. Grids in layout function like guides in other programs and provide a snapping reference to help keep objects and line work organized and aligned. Regardless of the template you're working with, here's where you can turn grids on or off. You can also change the appearance of the grid lines themselves by switching to points only or changing the colors of either the major or minor grids. Let's change the grid spacing and color now. Make sure that your grid is showing and enter either 1 inch or 25.4 millimeters and see how our grid looks. And at the bottom we have a few other options, like whether we want our grid lines to print or to move them to always show on top of our drawing content. Let's jump back into our page for a second and look at how the grid works by drawing a few lines and noticing how they snap to the corner and midpoints. You can also toggle whether you want to snap to the grid or not. If you go up to a range, you can see that you can toggle grid snap on or off. There's also a toolbar icon and keyboard shortcut that you can set as well. Next down is the group settings, which function like they do in SketchUp, in that when editing a group, you can control whether to fade or hide everything else in the drawing. We'll just leave that as default for now. After that is the paper settings, which allow you to modify your document's paper size at any point after creating a new document. In addition to size is paper color, which can show up on just the screen or be printed as well. We also have the ability to show and adjust margins. By default, the margins are the same color as the grid, but you can change that if you'd like more contrast between the two. For this example, let's change the margins to a magenta color, so it's obvious what is margin and what is grid. Next, let's take a look at references. References show paths to any external files that have been added to our layout document. It's blank now, of course, because we've just started, but we'll come back and check it out after inserting some content in later lessons. Lastly are the settings for controlling our drawing units. For this lesson, we're going to be using fractional units. Feel free to keep as decimal if you like. Just note that with fractional, we'll be adding inches and feet to our measurements and dimensions later when drawing and annotating. It's important to remember that after modifying all of these settings like units, grids, margins, etc., that they apply only to this document. So next time you create a new drawing, it will have reverted back to the default settings. If you find that you like the custom document settings that you've made and you want to use them each time you create a new drawing, then you can go to File, Save as Template. Then give your template a name and hit Save. The next time you create a new drawing, you can browse to the My Templates dropdown and you can find your newly saved document settings. If you want to set your new custom template as the default template every time, then just check Always Use Selected Template, and that's it. Don't worry if you change your mind later. As we just discovered, you can modify these settings and either save them as a new template or choose from a default template at any time.